Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K. Thanks so much for stopping by and spending some time with me. And today I have a gorgeous design team project to share with you guys for Angel Dream Crafts. And Angel Dream Crafts is on Etsy. I will have all of the information linked below in the description box, so make sure you open it up and check it out. Along with the information about Angel Dream Crafts, I will also link the other ladies who are on the design team, so you can check out to see how they are incorporating laces and trims and gorgeous doilies and bling into their projects from Angel Dream Crafts. And for today's project, I did decide to create an altered file folder, and I turned it into a pocket. And my plan then is for later this month, I will be also putting out a second design team project for Angel Dream Crafts, and I'm going to be creating a little journal to set inside of this altered pocket. But I have to tell you, I had a lot of fun with this one. There were so many fun laces and trims and blings and appliques in my design team package that I went a little crazy, I think, but a good crazy. And so here's what the back of it looks like, and here is what the front of it looks like. And I have to say, this looks so elegant and exquisite, and I wish you guys could see some of these laces in person because they are just gorgeous. And so I will kind of start at the top, and the majority of what you see on this whole project came from Angel Dream Crafts. There are just a couple things that came from my own personal stash. And so up at the top, I did create this little bow, and I added it kind of onto a little hair clip, which I don't think you guys can kind of see, but I did make the front and the back pretty, just so then when I had it clipped on to the folder, it looks nice from the front and also from the back. And so if we take a look at it a little closer, you can see this gorgeous little flower piece, and that comes off of some trim that Kim sells in her shop. And I love this trim, and it's actually what I have laid out right here in the background. I just wanted something pretty for you guys to look at. And what's so nice about this trim is you can definitely cut it up into the smaller pieces and layer it as flowers. So I just cut one of the bigger ones up, and I did dye some of the flowers that I use in this project, and I just used tea. And then I also spray just a little bit of some sort of spray, like either the Perfect Pearls Mist. This one was the Biscotti color, and this Lindy's Stamp Gang. This one was Clam Baked Beige, and it just adds just a little bit of glimmer to it. And I did that because this lace right here, also from Angel Dream Crafts, has just a little bit of a gold hint to it, and along with this applique. And so I just wanted to bring out those highlights. So I did spray them just a little bit after I tea dyed them, just to add just a little hint of glitter, which I don't think that's going to show up on camera. But in person, it's really beautiful. And so on top of this little flower that I cut out, I went ahead and added a piece of bling, and this also comes from Angel Dream Crafts. And when you order it, you do get 2 in the set, and so here's what the other one looks like. But I added it here. And then the other thing that I did when I was creating this, the bow was actually glued on to the clip, but this top brooch, since it was a brooch, I did just attach it. So if you were to take this off, the flower would also come off, and you would just see the bow. So that way, if I gift it to someone and they want to reuse it on a project, they are able to do that. So that was kind of a nice little addition that I did. And then again, on the back side, I wanted to make the back look nice also. So I layered up 2 of those cut out flowers, and then I just added a flat back pearl from my stash to it. So that's the back side. And then also under this that I had clipped on when it was on here, this gorgeous doily. And this was one of the doilies that comes from, I believe it's a set of 8. She has a mixed set of 8. She also has some other doilies available in her store. But this one, I just fell in love with this one. There's a little bit of embroidery on it, and it just looks like some hand crocheting around the edge of it. And it just looked really pretty hanging off the top of my file folder here. And then of course here's the pocket right here where I will be sticking a small journal inside of there. And so now looking at the rest of the pocket that I created, this gorgeous trim right here. It's a champagne, it's an embroidered trim. And this one's in a champagne color, but she does have other styles and colors. This one's like a little rose pattern in it. And then also with this one's kind of cool because if you were to cut, you could just cut out the little individual pieces. And if you flip this on the side, it would look like a bow too. So I think that's kind of cool about that trim. And here's what that one looks like. I don't have a lot left of it, but really pretty. And then underneath it is one of my favorite laces. It's an ecru Venice lace, and to me it has just a little hint of gold and sparkle to it. It's very elegant and exquisite looking. And that's what it looks like when it's not glued down with other stuff on top of it. But this one's a fun one too to cut up and just use little pieces of it. And so you see that one in the background. And then again at the bottom, you see again that embroidered lace that I had. And then I'll get into this flower and the bling in a minute. Underneath that one, I have this beautiful Venice lace also. And that one does come in white. And again, I went ahead and tea dyed it. And I also did a little bit of that Perfect Pearls or the Lindy's Stamp Gang over it, just to give it just a little bit of sparkle. And again, I don't think it shows up on camera. And then underneath that lace, and I'll show you guys real quick what that looks like if you were to look for it in the store. But I love this lace again too. This one's a fun one to cut up and use just the bits and pieces. But as you can see, it's gorgeous if you just leave it as is. And this one could have easily been the top layer also. And I would have just probably put some pearls on the little flowers or rhinestones or little pieces of bling. And so underneath that, I just had a remnant left over from another project that I had. So these ones are my own dangles from my stash, but she does have a ton of different dangle laces in her store if you're looking for dangle laces. And then again, you can just see the hint of that other ecru one that I used up here. And I had this one on the back side, but I just like the look of it from this side too. And you can tell it's a nice lace when it looks beautiful on both sides, that it's a high quality lace. And so now getting back to the main part of it, I did use, on top of the file folder, I used some paper, and I think it's from a company called Ciao Bella. Yeah, so here's the paper that I used, and it was just, I just ended up using just one sheet and cutting it up, but it was from this La Travita, which is an opera. And there's the company, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but it's a beautiful paper pad, and it's printed in Italy. And so that's the background paper that you see on both sides. And then the image, this image is an image of Lily Elsie, and she was an actress from a long time ago. And you see a lot of her images on Pinterest in different areas. And then if you look close, I did use some Wink Stella on her dress, again, just to add some shimmer, just to, again, I think highlight some of the colors in there, and also this applique. And then to frame her, I did use some flatback pearls from my stash. But the main stuff that you see around here is this gorgeous applique, and it was a huge applique. If you go back in and you look at my design team package reveal video, which I will also have that link below, it's bigger than like one hand. It's huge, and it had all these flowers on it along with the gorgeous applique that you see. And what I ended up doing is cutting it into bits and pieces and then just layering it how I wanted to around the image. And then I went ahead and pulled off one of the images, and these, or not images, flowers, I mean. I pulled off one of the flowers and put it down here, and it was easy to pull off. They are glued on quite well, but if you have a heat gun or a heat tool, you can kind of heat it a little bit and then it pulls off, but you got to be careful because it is possible to melt some of the gold in the applique. But if you're gentle, you can pull these off and use them in other areas, and that's what I went ahead and did down here. And then if you also look, I do have some flat back pearls with rhinestones around it, and again, those are sold in the shop. And so one more quick peek at the overall. But I just love how elegant this turned out. Like when I started working on it, I had a vision in my head, and this turned out way better than what I thought it was going to. And so now I'm just going to flip it over, and on the back side, again, I use that same champagne colored trim. And then I added flat back pearls onto the little pieces in between. And then I created a pocket right here. And again, when I do my next design team project later this month, I'll create a tag or a card or something to put in there. But I didn't want to use all of my laces and trims up because I kind of went a little crazy, like I said, with this one, using up everything that I had in my design team package. So I wanted to make sure I had enough for my next project. And this also is bits and pieces from AngeldreamCrafts. Again, those flowers that I showed you guys already from this one. Another piece of that bling in the middle. And when you order this one, you do get a set of 3. So I used 2 on the front, and then the last one I used right here. And then under here is another gorgeous like dangle piece. And this one has roses on it. And this one's a fun one to cut up too. And you could also go ahead and add some flat back pearls to that also if you wanted to highlight it even more. But here's what that trim looks like. And I did leave it white for this one just to add a contrasting color on that little embellishment. But that's what that dangle looks like. It's beautiful. And then underneath there, again, I had that other Venice trim that I had dyed. This one that we saw in the front. I used another little piece there, and then I just use a scrap piece of tulle there. And again, I clipped it onto one of those little hair clips, and that just attaches onto the pocket. This is some vintage Clooney lace that I had in my stash, but Kim does sell some very similar ones in her store. And I did get some of that, or a little bit lighter color, or from her in the design team package, and I'll just show you guys that one. I did decide to save this one for my next project later this month, so I didn't use it on this project, but it's beautiful lace, very well made. And then again at the bottom I use that ecru Venice trim, and I just went ahead and layered up some pearl trim that I had in my stash just to kind of finish that one off. And so that is my altered pocket, or altered file folder pocket. And again, I just adore how this turned out. So again, I just clipped that little doily over the top and add my little clip up here. And then I always check to make sure after I've attached it, because sometimes the little flowers get hooked there. So I just always make sure that it still looks nice on the back. So that is my project, my first project this month for AngeldreamCrafts. And again, I just love how this turned out. Hopefully you guys do too. Again, I will have all of the links listed below, so don't forget to go check them out. And of course, come back later this month to check out the journal that I created to put inside of this little pocket. And until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day and happy crafting.